Okay, so we're back in the shop, new shop, I guess, today, and we're going to be putting on new brake rotors, pads, and calipers on this 2001 Mustang GT. So we're going to show you, it's a relatively easy job, so we're going to kind of give you a step-by-step instructions on how to do this. So let's jump into it. First thing you need to do is put the car in park, make sure it's on the ground, break the lug nuts loose, then you can jack it up and then secure it with a jack stand and then get the then take the rest of the lug nuts off. So I got one left on here, 3/4 inch. Just be careful with these nice wheels. You don't want to booger them up any. So get this off. That to the side. We'll get this wheel and we'll put it off to the side as well. Alright, so what I like to do next is get this brake cable undone. So right here, you can actually pull, usually these cables have a little bit of slack in them, so you can just grab this with a vice grip or whatever you need, pull up on it and get it out, and then once that's off, you can just get a flathead screwdriver, and you take that little C-clip out. See, I can turn it with my finger, so it's not very tight. You pop that out and you just pull that out. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of room underneath this car, so it's kind of hard for me to get to it and videotape it, but you get the gist of it. Okay, so yeah, that wasn't tight at all. Popped right out. You can see it's got some play. Now we're going to try to get this out without losing it. Trying to do it one-handed as well. This thing's probably going to pop and go flying everywhere. Some mad camera skills here. Don't want it to go flying. There we go. Yeah, there's my awesome camera skills for everybody. My tripod broke, so I don't have it anymore. There we go. Boom. And obviously you're going to be reusing this, but we're replacing all of this right here. When we're doing these brakes, we're replacing everything, okay? So we're replacing the rotor, we're replacing the brake caliper, we're replacing the pads, we're replacing everything. So when you're doing that, you're gonna obviously have to unhook this line. But I like to, instead of taking it off now, which you can, because everything's nice and tight, it's gonna be easy to break it loose, which I will break it loose, but I will not take this off, because if I take this off and just let it sit here, it's going to leak out fluid until I get everything ready to go back on. So what I do is I'll break this loose, just because it's on here, it's secure, so I can break it loose. I will break this loose and then tighten it back up a little bit, and then I'm going to unhook this and then put it up to the side and then rip everything apart and put all the new stuff on. And basically the last step is I'll mount the new caliper and everything on it, and then I will take this off, put the new copper or brass washers, I'll put those on and put it all on. I'll show you, it's just a little different way. I do not mess with this brake line until basically last when I'm putting everything back together, so I don't leak any brake fluid and make a big old mess on the floor. So, all right, so that being said, we're gonna break this loose and then we're gonna break this guy off and move it to the side. Now, this should just come right off. Sometimes, this car is a low mileage car. I think being it's an 01, it's low mileage. I think it only has 50,000 miles on it. So, comes right off. But what we'll do is we'll take this off and then we'll clean up around here. Some brake clean. But usually, if your car has some more miles on it, it'll get locked up on here. So, you might have to hit that a few times. Not this. Don't hit this. Don't hit that. But hit the outside of the rotor, like the hub part of the rotor. You can hit right here with the hammer, break it loose, get it off. If you're replacing the rotor, you don't really have to worry about it too much. But what we'll do is we'll clean this up. We're gonna put some anti-seize around here. Okay, so we got the rotor on. caliper's still up here out of the way. We're gonna put the new guy on. So you gotta use the old bolts, the old 15 mils that you pulled out. You gotta reuse those. And line it up. A little easier said than done. Like I said, this is just to get the line on. I mean, if you want to put your brake pads and stuff in, you can. But I like doing this just so I have the, so I can get the hydraulic line on it and don't have to worry about it. So once that's kind of snug, it just needs to sit there basically, just so you can tighten it up. You can take the plug out, and you need to get in the hardware kit that came in this kit. You got your metal pieces, and then you got your little washers. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break this loose, which we did earlier. We just gotta take it off now, and hopefully the lines or the those little washers come off. Most of the time they do. Sometimes they stick to the bolt, and then they're kind of a pain to get off. But we'll see if they come off this time. Nope, they're kind of stuck on there. Alright, we got those off. So we put the new one on. Trying to be quick about it. Put the other new one on. Thread it in. We got the line on, and like I said, that's why I do that. So you basically didn't get any, got a little bit of brake fluid on the floor, but not much. We can clean that up. We break these guys off. These are actually bigger. These are 14 mils that are on this one at least. So they are a different size. These are power stop brakes. These are the best ones they had on Rock Auto. I was looking at them, they still say Ford on them. So they're just basically painted, rebuilt, painted OEM parts. Keep this out of the way, and we'll put our, we can clean this up, and we can tighten this down, then we can put our brake pads on. Alright, so now we got to put the pads on, and they're kind of weird. They got these little clips. They go on the end of the new brake pads, just like so, and then they fit in there. They're a little weird. I put a little bit of anti-seize on them. Sometimes these can also just kind of be a pain in the butt to get in. I had to push down on them. A little messy. There we go. Like I said, it's kind of a pain, but it's on there. Okay, make sure you got these guys up, these lined up. Okay, so for bleeding, it's you need 2 people, just be easier that way. Make sure you have good fluid in here. You need somebody to go inside, and I'm not going to really do it because I'm too dirty. But pump the brakes like three times hard, then hold it to the floor, and then the person that's back will open up the bleeder, let it bleed out, close the bleeder. Then the guy that's inside can let it off his foot, pump it again 3 times. Keep doing that until you get no air in the system, no bubbles coming out, just solid fluid out of the bleeder, and you're good to go. Okay, go ahead.
I'm holding.
Pump him again.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, pump. 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 Okay, pump. All right.
Pump up again.
Just pump them and see what they feel like. The back brakes are bled. Now we need to torque these. This gets torqued 24 foot-pounds, and that one back there is at 79 foot-pounds. But that's it. Everything seems to be good. We actually put the car in drive and spun it, checked the brakes. Everything seems to be nice and tight, but then loose whenever the brakes aren't applied, which is what we want. So we're good. But if you guys have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them below. All right, guys. God bless.